So we've come to investigate Rob's weird structure. Daz Howe's with us as well, and Princess Lola and Owen. So we're at Phillips Park. Nice little stream running along here, but it's interesting. If you look at Google Earth, you really don't get a sense of how much woodland's down here. And this is autumn. I mean, can you imagine this like 2 months ago, how dense this would have been? Anyway, let's catch him up. So there looks to be a walkway through this foliage that's now obviously dying. Whether it's a game trail, I don't know, but it just so happens to...
Why does no one walks up here, so why have they made a footpath?
It's like the deer are using this particular bit. I don't know about that where that leads. If we follow it down here, always find holly in the areas that they frequent, usually. And we come down here. This is quite a steep hill, it doesn't look it, but it is. So if we come round here, sort of used this fallen tree from obviously a couple of years back maybe as the basis for this. And inside
There was people walking down the path and was like, they couldn't even see us.
yeah, got all these verticals here.
Come here, Lola, let me carry you. We'll sit and chill out there now, come on. Good girl. It's easy, look. Right. There we go, you did it. Good girl. That's it. Well,
We don't know how old. How old do you think it is, Rob?
oh, it looks very old.
Thinking.
Yeah, probably over a year, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Like 2 years, maybe?
I don't know whether it survived 2 years, but certainly a year.
We can tell the weather's damaged it because it's fallen down in places, but the main structure is still intact. It's solidly built. Like it says don't shoot, you can even stand up in it. It's,
my toes are so freezing. Come down.
again, it's all like, the pieces look all natural, like just regular snaps and that.
Imagine
It's got it. I mean, how it's been entwined into this tree and the bush. You know, all the pieces have been putting it together. Again, it just doesn't look like a typical bushcraft shelter. I mean, it could be, I don't know, but it doesn't look like, you know, the regular ones you see on YouTube. There's littered up YouTube in it, you know.
There's no litter around
Bushcraft
anyway.
shelters, but I don't know. It's got a lot of question marks on there.
It's a good mixture of the two. You've got someone who knows bushcraft and they've used nature and hand-picked this spot.
Could be, not ruling it out.
But you wonder why pick this spot. I mean, it overlooks the footpath which is down there, and I guess we know that traditionally that's what they do. You create blinds.
Yeah. But of all places on a steep banking.
Yeah, and it's on this sort of incline. Yeah, this incline on the hill to overlook that path. Now, there's a deer run up there. Whether that, no, a run that they use, like a game trail, if you like. But I don't know.
What's interesting with this though, you could get to it from the front side here, but there's like a back exit there that takes you right out up to there.
Yeah.
So there's 2 ways access you could get to it. So I mean,
And
well, it's been thought out well. You know,
Yeah.
because they say you got the vantage point at the bottom here, and if you need to slip out the back, you just go there. You're right there. You're in the bush.
Yeah. It's really difficult, isn't it, to put your finger on whether it's bushcraft, children, or something else. I don't know. The interesting thing is that sleeper, isn't it?
It's a sleeper, right? I don't think this is children. I mean, look how heavy this piece is. Yeah. If you were adults, it'd have took 2 adults to lay this across here. That is heavy. And that random sleeper, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, I think Rob's got a point there in regards to kids. I think that sleeper is going to be really heavy, isn't it? And where has it come from?
And where's the snap come from? Because there's no gaps there. It can. Well, it's this way, not that way.
The sleeper indicates that comfort for people generally. That's how I would look at it. But at the same time, then you look at.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess you've got to look at maybe a year ago, like you say, there was some forestry work going on, and these pieces that we're seeing here were really, I don't know, maybe just near the path down there and just been carried up here. It's a strange place to make a den.
It took a lot of effort, but I mean, look at the time it would have took to put all this up. You know, you got the outer perimeter that goes all around there. It's a dome shape, and the way it's been, but you got the way it's been crossed over like that, and you got all the slats locked inside of it as well, and it goes over the top here. Like here, I mean, look at that. That's been thought out well. I mean, imagine in the summer with the bush growing. It's just a perfect blind, but the frame of it, how it's been put together. How it's been woven into the base of the tree like that. It's solid. It's been solidly made. It's a structure I've never seen. It's the first one for me. This a lot of question marks over it, but
I have to say, isn't it?
It is
interesting though. So it's the first one I've seen that looks like this.
Yeah.
It's not traditional bushcraft. This.
Nah.
They're just rested, but they've just intertwined so much that you can actually lean on it.
Do you want to go on this bit here, Lola?
Just little thin twigs, but they've been that woven together that well you can lean on it, but you wait on it.
Yeah. And again, it's like at the bottom there, that has been slotted. They're using the tree to help the construction of
this
it.
piece here, that V, and then them crossed over. But they're only a little thin thing. But
yeah.
This could have rotted away and just fell down. So.
I mean, size of it is what? I mean, how many people could you fit in here? You could fit easy 20 people from here to the bottom there. I just like how it's the shape of it curves around like that.
These rhododendrons, there's a lot of natural branches as well that just wrap round it. Then.
Yeah, they've used the natural shape of these trees.
As I said, you know, I said to you, Chris, I'm 65-35, it not being bushcraft. I'm not ruling bushcraft out, but to me, it just doesn't look like a typical bushcraft. You know, Clifton, there's a lot of them little shelters there. It's obvious, isn't it? But I mean, possibly that bottom could have been a shelter, because as I said, we're in autumn now. Yeah. But imagine the bush, the leaves and branches over it.
Just this above is quite dense now. I mean, so 2 months previous to this, it would have been even more dense. Like this, that would have been the same.
If you'd have spotted it in the summer,
certainly,
totally different.
Certainly, I think certainly some effort's gone into it. So it's either a group of kids that are just sort of know what they're doing. Yeah. I don't think a bushcrafter would do this. Not one man. I just thought it doesn't seem feasible, really.
If you were kids, they'd need someone with this skill to supervise them to construct it. They'd need a couple of adults because a lot of the pieces are big and heavy. And again, like this here, I mean, this catches my eye. It's got like that slotted across and like a slat here, and all that's been packed to it. It's clever. And again, you know, if it was for that purpose of concealment, not being seen, me and you found out on Sunday, didn't we? There's people walking at the bottom, no idea. Even the dog was only a few feet away from us, didn't even know we was inside it.
I mean, the other thing that we haven't mentioned is perhaps homeless, but there's better places to frequent than here, isn't there? Nearer food and I don't know.
But look around, there's no litter, no sign of litter anywhere. You
No.
get bushcraft shelters, there's a bit of litter knocking about. You can tell people have been here, but there's not a spot of litter anywhere.
Nothing in here, is there?
Yeah, there's not. No, that's interesting. There's no litter at all, which
There's no indication that people have been here
You'd have
recently.
plastic bottles and things, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Someone would stay in it.
Oh, and just go well over. Second sit farm. Goodbye.
What Deb was talking about, these rhododendrons, isn't she?
yeah. Well, I've noticed the same thing. Rhododendrons and hollies all the time. I know, obviously, two really popular plants in Britain, but the dense plants and they have like sort of dual purposes, don't they? Concealment, and one has sort of hollies, a plant that you would avoid. You wouldn't go into those places that are protected by holly. I don't know. Interesting though. It'd be more interesting. I mean, we've barely scratched the surface in this area.
Yeah.
So if you find something else,
There's all that top end.
there's loads, isn't there? We've not even touched it.
Yeah.
Questions? Like question marks.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. But at the same time, it's sort of made us look more into this area
Yeah.
to
yeah.
do some more digging about it. Because, like I said, this is an area we sort of should have gone into 6 months ago, really.
Never thought I'd come in, you know. It's
Yeah. Google Earth. It's it's quite deceiving. Well, it can be, not always, but it's really useful, but deceiving at the same time.
What do you reckon, Darren? What's your gut feeling? The structure?
I can't imagine anyone sort of building it. There's no sort of like sense to it, is there? It's just got all random in it.
Yeah.
Even this, it's like all flimsy, it is. But it's all
Actually,
strategically
Leigh.
placed in it.
Mm.
Are you okay, Lola?
But that sleeper's
It's crazy, isn't it? Where's that come from?
like, they're heavy then, aren't they?
Yeah. This is heavy, that's heavy. Like I say, I just can't. You know, kids, I highly doubt it.
I mean, it's feasible that sort of teenagers could have possibly done it. I mean, because that sleeper, what was it, where maybe perhaps 80 kilos, maybe? Something like that, which is... It's certainly something you wouldn't want to carry for a distance anyway, let's put it that way.
I mean, we used to make dens when we were kids. We'd be out all day making dens, but I mean, something on this scale, you know.
Yeah, because this hasn't been done overnight. This is a bit of a...
This took time.
This is a project, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when it was... I'd love to have seen it a year ago, let's put it that way.
Or in the summer.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I think it's come across it sooner. But I mean, I just accidentally found it. I was just surprised I didn't even notice the thing. You don't even really see it from the bottom, and it's that big, but you still don't even see it.
Okay. So Rob's just pointed out also as well, the structures in there, which you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't see that. You just wouldn't see that. And you certainly wouldn't think it was a hide or a den of some description because you can't see it. But above runs the power lines, which we know that they're using. And if you look at the overlay of the power lines with the sightings on the Bigfoot map, it definitely ties in somehow. I mean, there are picnic tables down here as well, so whether... I know you get a lot of this. There's one over here as well. You get a lot of that in America. Whether that translates here, I just don't know. There's too There's no litter, which is really interesting. There's no litter in that shelter at all. When you'd expect it, you expect to find litter in there. But yeah, there is a big sleeper in there. I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Quest goes on.